Hey, you guys, welcome back for another day of your new coach training. So, I'm really passionate about today's topic and super excited to talk to you about it. Today, we're going to cover follow ups, and there's a little slogan in the company that I want to share with you. So, jot this down. The fortune is in the follow up, and that is so true. How many of you decided to join a challenge group, to get a challenge pack, or to coach the very first time that I or your coach reached out to you? Anybody? Zero. You guys, no one is ever gonna be like, yes, awesome, sign me up, I'm ready to go the first time that you talk to them. Like, that's not even realistic to think about, right? So it is so important that we follow up with people. And today I'm gonna talk to you kind of about why that's so important and then how to do that. Okay, hold on. Filling up my joy cup with some coffee with a really healthy creamer that I love. Okay, so basically, when we send an invitation, you are planting seeds. When you respond to people's, messages, or when they like or comment on your posts and you reach out, when you don't hear anything back after you reach out, when you send an invite and don't hear anything back, or maybe you get a note, hey girl, that's great, you're doing that, but that's not for me, best wishes, whatever it is, that is okay. Okay, that does not mean you failed. That doesn't make you a failure. That doesn't mean it didn't work. That doesn't mean you're not going to be a successful coach. Honestly, I feel like that means it did work. Like, there's a book that's called Go for No that I highly recommend for PD if you're struggling with hearing no or feeling like you're being rejected, because that's just part of this business. I mean, you have to kind of develop a thick skin and just know that every no that you get is getting you closer to a yes. So if we're kind of in that place where we're afraid of hearing no or being rejected, we're never going to do what we need to do every single day to reach our goals, because we're just going to be like, oh, another no. Where I just know that when I reach out to all these people, I mean, we kind of work with a numbers game. I mean, 1 in 10 people that you reach out to is going to be kind of interested in what you have to offer. And of those 1 in 10, even if they are, like, you tell them everything and they're like, awesome, not many of them are going to be ready to jump in day one. Like I said, most of us weren't. Some of the people on my team were following me for a year before they were ready. And I reached out to them and followed up with them multiple times. So I want to share a little statistic with you. 48% of salespeople never follow up with a prospect. 25% of people make a second contact and then stop. 12% of people make 3 contacts and stop. And get this though, 2% of sales are made on the first contact. 3% of sales are made on the second, 5% are made on the third. That's not a lot, right? Here's another staggering statistic for you. 80% of sales are made on the 5th to 12th contact. So if you aren't following up with people at least 5 times, you're killing your own business. Okay. Now, how do you do that? So now you understand the importance of following up. But, like, how do you follow up with somebody that doesn't want to hear from you, right? Like, how does that work? Aren't you going to be like a pest or nagging them or whatever? I'm going to show you how to do it tactfully. Okay, so most of us came into this business and we did not want to sell something, correct? We didn't want to be a salesperson. We didn't want to bug people. So the interesting thing is that although most of us came in like that, many of us wind up acting like that without meaning to. Here's what I mean by that. So we know that we need to be adding to our network every day, sending people, relationship building, connecting messages, like forming people, FORM, asking about family, occupation, recreation, just sending them that message. And then let's say we hear back and we then send like an invitation to a free group, and then we don't hear back. What do? We go hiding. We leave them alone because we don't want to bother them, right? Or we shut down and we're like, oh gosh, they rejected me, I don't want to be rejected, and we're done. Here's the problem with that. What you just told that so you didn't want to be a salesperson, but what that message sends to somebody is that you were only interested in the sale. And that stinks, right? Like, oh, you weren't interested? Okay, well, go have a nice life. That's not us, you guys. So you gotta remember, you gotta always think about how your actions, what you do and don't do and don't say, is affecting other people. So let's say someone gives you an objection, and objections are so common in this business. We all have them. Think about the ones that you had. That's why the most powerful thing you have as a coach is your story. And those things that were your objections, you're going to find that you're attracting a lot of people with those same objections, right? As you share your story and share what you were hesitant about, what you were skeptical of, what you were nervous about, whether it was the shake or the group or that you could finish or whatever, the more that you start to sprinkle in and share your story, and not be afraid to share the things that you think now that you're a coach that maybe you should hide. That's one of the biggest mistakes you can make, because your story is your source of power. Okay, so I'm very open about the fact that I was super hesitant and skeptical about Shakeology, that I wasn't interested in it, that I didn't even like it for the first 2 weeks, that I didn't think you needed a shake to be healthy, that I definitely didn't want to spend the money on it and didn't even have the money. So when people tell me that they don't know about the shake and they don't know they want to spend the money, I don't freak out and go like, oh, I lost another one, or oh, they're not going to sign up. I'm like, okay, awesome. We have a lot in common. I felt the same way. I'm like, seriously, girl. And I start telling my story. I thought it was full of junk. I thought I didn't need it. I thought it was too expensive. And then I say, but here's what I found. So I let them know, I felt that way too. I'm not a salesperson and a pedal pusher. Totally, I can relate to that. Here's what changed my mind. And so that's something really powerful for you to always do with objections. And if you get an objection and you don't know what to do with it, there's a training tab in your back office, and there's actually a whole list of topics, and there's inviting and forming, and one of them is objections and how to handle them. And if you go over that and the short videos in there and the forums, it's going to help you so much. There's tons of YouTube videos from top 10 elite teams about how to handle objections. I have some of them on YouTube as well. But know that an objection is typically, what that means is not a no. You have to retrain your mind and realize that it's a not right now. So also, when you don't hear back from somebody, or you send an invite and they say no, or they're not ready, or not right now, that's what it is, you guys. It's a not right now. Every single no that you get is getting you closer to the yes. Okay, but here's the biggest thing that you need to do. When you get those messages, or when you don't hear back, you need to put your blinders on in this business, and you need to put your head down, and you need to, do what you do every day and be consistent, because most people just need to know that you're going to stick around, that you're going to keep drinking that shake, that you're going to keep doing these groups and running these groups and inviting people. We can only control what we can control. So I can't control if somebody's ready to make this change. What I can control is, how I treat my relationship, how I cultivate that relationship with them, how I establish trust, and I can control how many people I reach out to every day, knowing that the numbers are kind of not in my favor, that I need to, if I want to get, 10 ladies signed up in a month, well, I need to reach out to over 100 people if only 1 in 10 is going to be interested, right? So that's what I can control. Now, because I'm a believer, I believe that God wants me to plant seeds, that every person that is in my social network on Instagram or Facebook, every person is a life, but every person, I get to plant a seed in their life. Now, I have no idea what's going on in their life right now. You guys, it could really be a bad time for them. Maybe their husband just lost their job and that's why they can't afford it. Maybe they just had a huge shift in their faith and they're questioning a lot. Or maybe, they just got a diagnosis with something, or super sick, or their kids are sick, or, you have no idea what's going on in their life. So it's so silly, and it's honestly kind of selfish to act like it's about you. It's not. So don't take it personally. It's so important that you know that it is maybe not their time right now. Just like maybe the first time I reached out to you or your coach did, it might not have been your time right then, okay? So we have to be patient in this business, patient with people, just like we need to learn to be patient with ourselves. We have to trust this process, just like we do with our programs. We have to learn to trust the process as coaches of, doing these vitals every single day, 5-6 days a week for 3 months to start to see that compound effect kicking in, okay? So we have to be patient and just put the blinders on and do what we need to do. So objections are going to come. Yes, just like Jesus said in the Bible, trials, tribulations, they're going to come. But you guys, you got to look at them as, this is my opportunity to learn. How can I pour into this person's life? How can I meet them where they're at? How can, right now. So for example, let's say you get an objection about Shakeology and someone says, well, I have tummy issues. I don't know that I can, drink that shake. What I'm going to say is, okay, can you tell me a little bit more about that? Did you try our shake before? What shakes have you tried? Because here's the thing, maybe they tried our shake and maybe they only drank it for a day or two. Well, guess what? That was probably digestional discomfort, because Shakeology is such a dense dose of nutrition that over those first few days, that's really normal to have that. Some people need to do a half a scoop and start there, and then work up to 2 half scoops a day, and then eventually 1 full scoop. Maybe they did the animal one, which is harsher animal proteins, our regular whey formula. Maybe they needed to try the vegan. So they're all different. Maybe they didn't have a good recipe and that's why they didn't like it. So I always ask questions, and asking questions is how you show that you care. Okay. If at the beginning you don't know what questions to ask, reach out to me or your coach and we can help you. When you get an objection, know kind of how you can handle that, what you can say. Just like if there's objections to coaching and, to the price or whatever. But I always remember to keep in mind, and I want you to keep this in mind too, that objections are very, very, most of the time, they are something bigger underneath the surface. So it's important to keep them talking and to keep asking questions and to keep building that relationship, because as we peel back the layers, sometimes I'll hear someone say I tried Beachbody before, it didn't really work for me, but thanks for asking. If I actually care about that person, because I know that we have the entire solution to health and fitness, I know that, I'm confident in that, I'm not going to just let them walk away and be like, okay, well, thanks anyways, have a great day. No, I know what we have to offer. So I want to know what the heck happened last time that they didn't get the results that I'm getting or love it as much as I do. So I'm going to say, well, girl, can you tell me a little bit about that? I'm so surprised to hear that. Were you in a group? Did you have a coach? And you know what I might find out? They might tell it well, I was doing really good, but then I kind of fell off the bandwagon. My coach didn't reach out. I got sick or I got pregnant and things kind of just spiraled out of control. And, but honestly, I didn't really have the time for this or that didn't work. Well, I can say oh my goodness, I'm so sorry that happened. Well, hey, I can't speak for that coach, but here's what I can tell you about how, I handle things like that, or how I help women in my group, or, and this is why I think group will really be good for you. So again, it's taking that opportunity to care enough to ask them about those objections and to dig a little bit deeper, guys. People are like onions. You got to peel back the layers. But, kind of to close up, I wrote a couple of notes down for you here that you just got to remember, one, that you were not ready the very first time that you became a coach, or, were presented this opportunity probably to jump all in. So we need to keep that in mind as we're talking to people, guys. These are lives. Also, that every single yes was first a no. I want you to remember that. So don't get afraid of those no's. Don't feel rejected. Don't take it personally. Those no's are what get you closer to the yeses. Then that you are planting seeds and you need to cultivate those seeds and show them that you're not just here for a quick sale. Don't be that person. If you don't want to be a salesperson, then don't be a salesperson. Don't just reach out and then leave them high and dry when they say they're not interested. Guys, if someone tells me they're not interested right now, I'm going to be like, okay, well, after I've asked them that questions and maybe dug a little deeper, I'm going to say, hey, well, I totally understand that now is not your time, and I would love to still stay in touch and, keep our relationship going, or I would love to still stay in touch. You seem like an awesome person. I love the things you post, and I love when I hop onto Facebook and see positivity in my feed. Keep it up, girl. Have a great day. That letting them know that I still want to have a relationship with them. And then I'm still going to make sure that, because I'm tracking my business using Streak or something else, that I keep them on my list of people that I'm going to like and comment on their stuff to stay present in their life. And that's going to jog their memory too, where they're going to keep seeing my posts and things if I keep commenting and posting on theirs, because I know that there's somebody that needs this. It just wasn't their time. Here's another big way, and I'm going to close with this, that you can be somebody who really is not that salesperson, and that you can really help bring them on board when they're ready. Is, let's say they told you that they really struggle with meal prep, and you talk to them about a group but they aren't ready or whatever, it's not their time, they don't have the money. Let's say you're going to run a 5-day free meal prep group. This is why we need to track our businesses, so we remember who we talk to and what their objection is, and we're going to talk about that later too. But so I'm using Streak now to track my business, and there's a little column for interest, and I might say they're interested in, this, or what their objections are, and I might say, don't have time to meal prep. So if I'm going to run a group on meal prep, I want to remember to invite them to it. That screams, hey, I'm not just interested in the sale, I'm actually doing something to add value that I think would help you, and I would love to add you in. It's going to start on the 19th. Does that sound like something you want to do? Guys, they're going to be like, oh my gosh, she remembered me and what I was struggling with. She cared enough to reach out, and she's going to help me out for free. That screams volumes about you as a coach, and that your heart is in the right place, and that you are here to help and you are here to serve. And if that is the truth, that you are here to help and here to serve, and you're not just concerned about money and success club points and figures, God will bless your business so abundantly, and people will just be flocking to you because of that, because that will set you apart, guys. Okay. Now, also, let's say that they said something like, it was a financial concern. Put them on your list to invite them to the next free group, or tell them about when it is and see if that would be something they'd be interested in. Tell them about the free trial. Tell them about Queen Week, because that's free, unless they want to add the shakes for 7 days, and then it's like $30. But guys, there are so many different ways that we can meet needs, and maybe it's somebody who you think just needs some community, and you're like, well, hey, anyways, I'd love to get together sometime, get our kids together, do a play date. Maybe they mentioned that they're kind of lonely, that they moved somewhere new, and then you talk to them about a group and they're not ready. Well, then you could maybe just say, hey, some of us are getting together here for this. I would love for you to come. Find places that you can fill a void or meet a need, and that really will set you apart. So just to kind of remember people's needs and to think of them. And if you come across a blog post or a recipe or something that you think might help somebody that gave you an objection, send it their way. Be like, hey girl, I remember that you were saying that you really struggle with making time for your health and fitness. I just saw this awesome blog post that really helped me. Or, I just went live in my group and shared this, or my personal development today was this. And I thought, it just made me think of you, and I thought maybe it would help you. So I just wanted to pass this along. Again, screams volumes about you as a coach and that your heart's in the right place. And again, you guys, those follow-ups. So another way I do follow-ups, I forgot to mention this, is, I'll ask people for permission to follow up. So I'll say, hey girl, okay, no problem at all. I know this is not a good time for you. When's a good time to follow up? Maybe next month, some of these financial concerns will be cleared up or whatever. Is it okay if I follow up with you before my next group starts, in April or next month or in 30 days or whatever, and ask them for that. Okay. And then write that down in your planner or agenda so you remember to reach out to them at that time. And another thing is, if I'll handle it in the objection video, but I think you guys have gotten enough about the importance of the follow-up in that. Remember that 80% of sales happen between the 5th and the 12th time. So care enough to follow up.